Pittsburgh.
Touchdown, Buffalo. The Pittsburgh Steelers and the Buffalo Bills from windy Orchard Park. The Steelers have won 13 consecutive games and the top seed in the AFC. The Bills have won 6 in a row. They need a win to stay in the playoff hunt. Our kickoff is next.
I got the feeling. Baby, I got the feeling.
It doesn't feel like it's 52 degrees. There is a wind out of the south at 17 miles an hour. They expect rain later today with Randy Cross, Kevin Harlan. Look at that Buffalo Bills record in January home games. 8 of those 9 wins have come in the playoffs.
This is easily the nicest weather Mike Mularkey's Buffalo Bills have had for a football game. This will hinder no one throwing the ball today. This will be an air contest down the field on one side, and look for Pittsburgh to do an awful lot of running the ball.
Buffalo beat San Francisco last week 41-7. Pittsburgh beat Baltimore last week 20-7. Ryan Lindell has it teed up. Coakley and Taylor are deep back, and here we go, the Steelers and the Buffalo Bills. Taylor will take it and is going by a tackle of Stamer, then brought down by Pearson Prelo, and he is out to about the 23-yard line, a 19-yard return. Let's take a look at the Pittsburgh offense. And Tommy Maddox makes his first start since week 2. Left guard Alan Faneca is going to the Pro Bowl for a 4th consecutive year. And wide receiver Hines Ward needs 7 yards to reach 1,000 for a 4th consecutive year. On the 23, 1st and 10. Mays and Randall L are the other 2 receivers with Ward. Burris will not play today, inactive with a hamstring. Deuce Staley gets the call and is brought down by Pat Williams as he crawls to about the 25 and picks up 2. Now the Buffalo Bill defense, the defensive tackle is Sam Adams. He anchors the defensive line. He is in his 11th season. Middle linebacker London Fletcher has led the Bills in tackles 2 consecutive years. And free safety Troy Vincent moved there from cornerback, where he went to the Pro Bowl 5 times. 2nd down and 8, and some no huddle for Pittsburgh.
No surprise that. Tommy Maddox at quarterback, he runs this no huddle really well.
And Maddox throws. Nice catch made by Antoine Randall L. Whacked by the linebacker Posey. He's out to the 32-yard line and about a yard shy of a first. He picks up 7 yards on the play.
This Pittsburgh team has been so effective early in ball games. Unlike last year, they come out and they drive this ball down the field 6 times, finishing off with touchdowns.
Truman is the tight end, and he is in tight. And Deuce Staley with the handoff. And again, Williams is right in there. They stack him up, no gain on the play. And it's 3 and out on the first possession today for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
It's a great matchup in this game, is that offensive line for Pittsburgh has been so improved against the front 7, led by Takeo Spikes, you see right there, plus Sam Adams and Pat Williams in the middle. It's their first punt for Pittsburgh now in 23 possessions. They'd never gone 1 game without punting before. They've been 2 now. Now they finally punt.
So here, and we'll reintroduce Chris Gardocki to our Pittsburgh viewers. And deep back will be Nate Clemens inside the 25-yard line. Mike Schneck with the snap and a nice punt with the win. Clemens at about the 17-yard line. Fumbled on the play. Ike Taylor knocked it away. Recovered by Larry Foote. And Pittsburgh's got it. And a turnover by the Buffalo Bills on a 51-yard punt that Ike Taylor knocked away for the Steelers. Foote recovers it.
That's the product of 2 things, Kevin. One is bad ball maintenance. The other one is just good hustle in Pittsburgh playing the game they've played all year long. These last 13 games, it hasn't been any one guy. It hasn't been the rookie Roethlisberger or just one defensive player. It's been this entire roster making big plays game after game.
Kreider has come in for the first time. 20-yard line, 1st and 10. Maddox with the block from Staley, and look who comes shooting through Ryan Denny. He leapt over the attempted block. It's a loss on the play of 5. They mark him at the 26.
One of the things that you haven't seen much from Pittsburgh is that quick pressure on their quarterbacks when the rookie Roethlisberger's been in there. And honestly, the reason has been they've run the ball so much with Big Ben there when he's been at the quarterback position. They come out with Maddox throwing right away, and right away they catch some quick pressure.
No changes defensively for Buffalo. 2nd and 15. They got to get to the 10. It's Tooman, the tight end, on the move. Maddox. Hines Ward stiff arms his way into Clemens and is out of bounds at about the 20-yard line and picks up 4. We'll call it on the play.
Here's a guy out there, Troy Vincent, now 23 for Buffalo, now playing free safety. And I'll have you think back. Remember, here's a guy that came from Miami, now in Buffalo. He got a little hurt. You know, normally you take a guy like that, he was a corner in the league. In the years past, they discard him. What they did here in Buffalo, they moved him back to free safety, and he's really starting to flourish back there.
3rd and 10, a couple extra defensive backs. They got 6 back there now with Rashawn Baker and Kevin Thomas. The 2 big guys in the middle on that line for Buffalo out, Williams and Adams. Maddox, that's caught by Randall L., brought down by Terrence McGee, who's going to the Pro Bowl. The gain is to the 6. It is a 13-yard pickup and a Pittsburgh first down.
And the key word there was that protection. We didn't see it earlier, but they're stunning, they're blitzing, and that Pittsburgh offensive line does a wonderful job of picking everything up front and buying Tommy Maddox that time to get him what looked like just an easy little pitch and catch that Ben Roethlisberger's been doing all 13 games of this win streak.
Adams and Williams back on the defensive line for the Bills. 1st and goal at the 6. This possession set up on a fumbled punt. And the Steelers are going to burn their first timeout. But they're on the move with Tommy Maddox making his first start since week 2. Buffalo's got to win. They got to get some help. The Jets have got to lose, or Denver's got to lose. It could be a tie in there, but the bottom line is the Bills have got to win. A fumble punt return at the 20. Now at the 6. 1st and goal, Pittsburgh. A fake to Staley and Maddox to the end zone where it's incomplete for Randall L. Thrown in back of him, and he was wide open.
It was a nice job by Tommy Maddox recognizing the defense he was given and that Randall L. coming out of the slot was going to be wide open. He got it out so quick. Randall L. was past where he threw it to. That's 4 straight pass plays for Pittsburgh. It's been a little bit out of the box for the offense you've seen out of Pittsburgh this season. It's been the Bus and Staley pounding the ball a lot.
Buffalo back to their base defense. 2nd down and goal at the 6 for Maddox. There's a good block by Ross. Here's a throw outside and almost picked off incomplete. McGee stepped in front of Kreider. Incomplete pass.
Yeah, that's the big plays you've seen out of McGee all year long. That's why he's going to the Pro Bowl. The anticipation, the ability to close on the ball, and Kreider does a great job of playing linebacker and stripping that ball away from McGee so he can't catch that ball.
Veron Haynes has now come in the backfield for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've got Mays, Randall L., and Hines as their receivers. 3rd and goal at the 6. And Tommy Maddox on a quarterback draw takes it himself and is brought down. Tackled by Schobel. They say it was a fumble, and we've got no clarification from the field. Schobel makes the stop after a 2-yard gain.
Ruled down by contact.
And he was down, so the Buffalo Bills hold him out of the end zone and relegate the Pittsburgh Steelers to a 3-point field goal try.
Well, if the message from Pittsburgh is go ahead, study this tape, because what you're going to see, you see he's down by contact before the ball comes out. But what you're going to see is not what you're going to see in the playoffs, so good luck studying this tape. This has been really kind of out of character for the team that has won 13 straight.
Here's Reed, who is 23 of 28, and he's had some recent success. This will be a 23-yard try. And Pittsburgh cashes in on the punt return fumble of Clemens. They get 3 as Maddox cannot get it in the end zone. Clemens made the fumble, but it's 3-0. Pittsburgh on top of the Buffalo Bills.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by T-Mobile. Get more minutes, more features, more service. Vicks NyQuil. And by Bud Light. Fresh, smooth, real. It's all here.
Beautiful Fountain Plaza here in downtown Buffalo. 3-0 the Steelers on a 22-yard field goal officially as Randall L. caught a 13-yard pass from Maddox to get him down there in closer range.
You could be ice skating in a bathing suit here by Buffalo standards.
Right.
Weather in the 50s.
And the kickoff coming up from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Terrence McGee is back. He is going to the Pro Bowl with his great return abilities, and the boot will send McGee about a yard deep in the end zone, and here comes Terrence McGee. And he's hit by Iwoma and brought down at the 25, a 26-yard return. The Steelers, the top team in the AFC. They got a lot of fans here, and they've caused an early turnover to get free from Buffalo. A look at 32-year-old Drew Bledsoe. The Buffalo Bills get it for the first time at their 25-yard line.
And coming out a little different formation, defensive end Ryan Denny, 92, in at tight end. Functionally, 2 tight ends and a big fullback coming out in power formation.
So after the Steelers get a field goal after a punt return fumble by the Bills, first down and 10, Bledsoe at the 25. The pitch out to Willis McGahee, a block by Valerio. There's a block by Jennings, and outside Kimo von Oelhoffen brings him down. No gain on the play as he goes to the 25. And we take you to New York and Craig Gumbel.
All right, Kevin, all of Baltimore's playoff scenarios begins with a Ravens victory. Kyle Bowler, a shovel pass, 1 yard to Terry Jones, allows the Ravens to pull even with Miami. It's a 7-7 tie first quarter, guys.
So far, Bowler's 7 touchdown passes, 1 interception at home this year.
And after 2 shovel passes in that San Diego Indy game last week, another quick one early in a play you rarely see more than 2 or 3 times in a year.
Second tight end is Trafford. Second down and 10 for Bledsoe. Going outside, almost picked off by Willie Williams. Ed Neufeld out there, the tight end, Greg. It's 3rd and 10 coming up here. What do you got in New York for us?
All right, this time it's the Minnesota Vikings who are looking for victory. However, Washington's Patrick Ramsey, 6 yards to Chris Cooley. The extra point, and the Redskins have the lead on the Vikings. 7-0, just under 8.5 to play in the first, guys.
Thank you, Greg. A win or a tie necessary for the Vikings today, and then they got to get a little help. 3rd down and 10 from the 25. Stuvance is out in the secondary for the Pittsburgh Steelers, so they get an extra body back there. Bledsoe hit by Polamalu and sacked and brought down at the 17-yard line, a loss of 7. And the Buffalo Bills have got a punt on their first possession.
This is a showcase of this guy's ability right here, Polamalu. He does not come from the get-go, but when he does come, it's speed. A Pro Bowler in just his 2nd year. One of the better and more impactful defensive players now after only 2 seasons in the NFL.
That is his first sack of the season. And Brian Moorman to punt into the wind. Antoine Randall waving it off and takes the bounce. And Buffalo will drive him back with that good bounce to about the 29-yard line. And that punt sails and bounces 53 yards. So Bledsoe can't do anything with it. 3 and out his first possession. And there is a flag on the play. And it was thrown across the way.
It was against Buffalo, I believe.
Far side of the field, about the 24.
Ineligible man downfield on the kick. Kicking team, number 92. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
There's Ryan Denny.
It was.
Who was in a tight end on the first play and illegally downfield there. And Bill Cowher automatically is going to have him kick it again. The wind blows basically as you look down the field from right to left here in Mike Mularkey's home stadium. So why not have him do it again? You got a huge roll on that last punt. Randall L now gets in little instructions from the sideline. Move up about 2 or 3 yards, and if that thing's short, go and get it and catch it and see how much plus yardage we can move out here.
In a game that means everything for Buffalo and virtually nothing for the Pittsburgh Steelers, this is not the way the Bills, winners of 6 straight, envisioned their game starting.
You know, but they're a team that all year it's never really been the easy way. They've done things a little bit differently. So starting off in a bit of a hole, I don't think affects this football team one bit.
Antoine Randall's long punt return this season has been 60 yards. He's a threat to take it all the way. There's a block that keeps Ike Taylor away from the punter, and another good bounce for the Buffalo Bills. And Antoine Randall watches it go out of bounds at about the 43-yard line on a 44-yard punt.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by IBM, the official on-demand business consultants for the NFL, and by Jeep, trail-rated capability. Don't go off-road without it.
Upcoming is the third possession for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They punted, then it was fumbled by Buffalo. They went in for a field goal. This is the third possession, 43-yard line after the Buffalo punt. They went 3 and out. First down and 10. Staley in the backfield. Randall gets the quick Maddox pass and dances with Clemens. It's a fumble, and Buffalo's recovered. Looked like Pat Williams smothered the ball inside the 49-yard line of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So tit for tat, one turnover, hit with the next.
Now the 27th turnover in the 7 games on this win streak, and the 20th time they've gotten the ball in their opponent's territory. 20 times. You wonder why this offense has been so much more effective and the offense has scored so many points? Short fields.
The football is just inside the 50, officially at the 49, where it's first and 10. Sam Aiken is the receiver atop your screen, and he is in motion with McGahee in the backfield and the pitch, and a block by Shelton. It's by Hope, and McGahee is tackled by foot as he's down to the 45-yard line on a gain of 5. Let's take a look at the Buffalo offense and their quarterback, Drew Bledsoe, closing in on 3,000 passing yards for the 9th time in his great career. Right tackle Mike Williams' performance has been significant over the winning streak of 6 games. And running back Willis McGahee has 7 100-yard rushing games and ran over 1,000 yards on the ground this year.
And they've turned Drew Bledsoe back into a passer, and he's no longer a crash dummy. They've had a running game, so he isn't constantly pressured.
Second down and 5. Lee Evans in the game as Bledsoe kicks it outside. Moulds broke one tackle to Williams, and he is hit by James Harrison, the linebacker, and he's spinning his way to the 36. He picks up 9, and that is a first down for Buffalo. On the Pittsburgh defense, number 1 in the NFL. Defensive end Aaron Smith leads the Steeler defense in sacks with 8. Linebacker James Ferrier was voted MVP by his teammates, into the Pro Bowl by his peers. Quarterback Chad Scott returns after being injured in week 6. He replaces the injured Deshae Townsend. First and 10. We'll call it the 35-yard line for the Bills, who recover a fumble by the Pittsburgh Steelers to get this great position. And here is McGahee into the secondary. Polamalu couldn't bring him down, and finally he is hit and tackled at about the 21-yard line by Willie Williams, a 13-yard run.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier this offensive line for Buffalo and how much better it has played this year. Watch the hole that opens up, but most impressive, the power of Willis McGahee. When you first meet this guy in person, you were really impressed by how thick he is. I mean, he is a powerful running back that's got great bounce and speed.
24-yard line. It is a first down. Let's make it the 23. Evans was in motion. McGahee again, rattling off a 13-yard run last time. Gets a block here from Evans and keeps his balance and staggers then to the 3. And that is a 19-yard run by Willis McGahee. First and goal for the Buffalo Bills.
Watch the blocking on this side of the offensive line. Watch the holes open up, and as they do, shuffle by McGahee, hop, shuffle, run. Nice job by Shelton in the lead blocking position, and only a stumble keeps him out of the end zone. Well, your feet start going faster than your head.
Wow. That can happen. A couple tight ends in there for the Buffalo Bills. Neufeld and Trafford. First and goal at the 3. McGahee around the Shelton block. And he is in for the Buffalo touchdown.
What you just saw was Buffalo Bills football 2004, the last 6-7 games. They get a turnover on their side of the field. This offensive line creates the holes, and Willis McGahee powers and churns for the extra yards and the touchdown. And this is a football team that will stand toe-to-toe and swing with anybody. So if Pittsburgh has any designs of easing up here, you're going to get smacked right in the mouth.
McGahee scores his 9th touchdown in the last 12 over the last 5.5 games. So he's got 12 for this season. Most have come during this 6-game winning streak. And the extra point by Ryan Lindell is up in, and he's never missed in his career. There were some great runs on that drive by McGahee. 13 yards and 20 yards. Then this 3-yard touchdown run. Well, Willis McGahee was simply magnificent. Runs of 13 and 20 yards on that drive. Then he get the 3-yard touchdown run by McGahee, all set up on a Pittsburgh fumble at the Steeler 49. And the kickoff, which is a line drive boot. Matt Cushing will get it on a bounce at the 27-yard line and bulldoze his way up before he is brought down by Rashad Baker among many, and a flag is down. The gain was to the 46, a 21-yard return. There's Antoine Randall, who fumbled.
Grasping the face mask, kicking team, number 89, 5-yard penalty, first down.
It's Sam Aiken of the Buffalo Bills guilty as you take a look at Mike Mularkey, who had some time with the Pittsburgh Steelers as a player and as an assistant coach.
And he and this entire football team have somehow managed in the last 7 weeks to take it easy. But you see the penalty coming right there. See the grasp on the face mask, and honestly, he grabbed it and held on to it a long time. I'm surprised that wasn't 15 instead of just 5.
Couple tight ends in there. Rasby comes in too to join Tuman. 49-yard line. Second beginning possession in Buffalo territory for Maddox, and he goes outside, dropped incomplete. They were looking for Ward. The coverage by Takeo Spikes. Second down and 10.
Let's take a look at some of the points I wanted to concentrate on coming into this game. A little crosstalk for Pittsburgh. You want to get them behind the sticks, and early on they did. They had Drew Bledsoe in 3rd and long, but not out of that last drive. It's really been turnovers for Pittsburgh also that's fueled them, and for Buffalo, be what the Steelers have been. Powerful running game, big play defense.
2 tight ends remain. Second down 10, 49-yard line. Deuce Staley grabbed by Williams and devoured at about the 46 and a gain of 3.
Yeah, this defense, for those of you that haven't seen Buffalo on a regular basis, especially this front 7, the linebacking crew with Takeo Spikes and London Fletcher and Posey is fairly well known. Up front, Sam Adams and Pat Williams in the middle have pretty much told most offenses that they're played, you aren't running inside.
Greer is in the secondary, as is Kevin Thomas. 46-yard line. Veron Haynes in the backfield for Tommy Maddox. So the team's making substitutions on a 3rd and 7. And Maddox caught. Lee Mays pushed out of bounds by Terrence McGee, out of bounds at the 22-yard line. A 24-yard catch, and the 9th reception of the season for Lee Mays.
Now we've got the single safety deep. That's going to tell Tommy Maddox on the outside he's got some man coverage, and does a nice job of zipping the ball out, and McGee just can't stay with Lee Mays coming out of that last break.
Lee Mays, a former 6th-round pick out of Houston. 11th career catch right there. 2 tight ends for Maddox, 22-yard line. Back of the football's on the 22. Staley in the backfield. And the pitch to Deuce. Both tight ends block. Takeo Spikes and Fletcher make the tackle at about the 20. It's a gain of 2, second down and 8.
You know, last time we saw the Steelers, Kevin, was in week 2, and really Deuce Staley was the man. Tommy Maddox was the starting quarterback, and Jerome Bettis was coming off basically off the bench to get first downs and to run half yards for touchdowns. And what a difference Bettis made to this football team. But today, Bill Cowher is basically saying, you guys there, take a rest, put a towel over your head, and take a blow.
Second down and 8, 20. It's Deuce Staley again, a Kreider block, and now he works on Fletcher. Then he is brought down by Troy Vincent, and Staley works it to the 16-yard line on a gain of 4.
And we just showed you those guys that really aren't playing in this game. Even Deuce Staley, I'd be surprised if Bill Cowher gets him more than 6, 7, 8 carries in this ball game. He mainly just wants to get him kind of tuned up and going. You're going to see predominantly Veron Haynes in this game.
Greer is in the secondary for the Buffalo Bills. So then now they put 5 back there. 3rd down and 4. They got to get inside the 12. Haynes, as Randy said, is back in the game. That's Randall L., who's in motion from the 16. Maddox Randall cuts the corner, and he's got a touchdown. 16-yard touchdown pass. Mannix to Antoine Randall, and the Steelers back on top.
An excellent job by the Steelers and their offensive coordinator, Ken Wisenhunt, of anticipating the defense, because what they do is they brought Randall in motion across the formation, caused confusion. Clements runs into a whole pile. Malloy runs into a whole pile, and no one can get over there early enough to help.
Mannix's first touchdown pass since the late 2003 season. Antoine Randall has his third touchdown reception of the year, the 6th of his career. Remember, Plexico Burress inactive today because of a hamstring. Did they get? You know what, Randy?
Well, everything's taking a little bit long here.
I don't know if they were certainly not thinking of going for 2 here, but there was the confusion, like they're trying to figure out if they're going to keep their offense on the field. Here's the extra point, and Reed drills it. There was a great pass reception on that drive by Lee Mays of 24 yards, which sets up this 16-yard strike to Randall.
As L goes out, everybody else goes in. It causes confusion. No defenders. Easy score. Antoine Randall going for the score. Watch the ball as he goes over. The ball isn't inbounds, but here's the goal line. By all intents and purposes, the rule says that goal line goes around the world. And he doesn't come down. That ball goes over the goal line, out of bounds, but still it's past the goal line. That is 6 points.
And over the pylon. And
over the pylon, exactly.
A 10-7 lead for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Reed has it teed up. McGee is deep back for the Buffalo Bills, and McGee at about a yard deep in the end zone. And crunched. Stubance brings him down. They also had Ike Taylor in there. It's a 22-yard return. He's out to the 21-yard line. And folks, get the latest NFL playoff race scenarios with updated brackets for the wild card and divisional playoff weekends. Just click on NFL at CBSSportsline.com. Second look at Drew Bledsoe.
And the thing to concentrate on for me is going to be this offensive line for Buffalo going against this Pittsburgh defense. They're so complex defensively and physical. If they can keep handling them like that, Bledsoe will have a lot of success.
First and 10, 21-yard line for Drew Bledsoe. And that is picked off by Larry Foote. Stepped in front of Neufeld, the linebacker. Second Buffalo turnover. First interception by Drew Bledsoe today. And look where the Pittsburgh Steelers will start things in a fight after the play, and they got to be separated at the 17-yard line. They are.
Well, Drew Bledsoe got exactly what I talked about, was excellent protection, trying to get the ball to his left tight end there. Neufeld coming off of the line of scrimmage. See, number 88 goes right back over the ball. Larry Foote, anticipation is the key a lot of times to defensive good play, and he anticipates what Drew Bledsoe is going to do with the ball and steps in front of him. That interception's clearly in Drew Bledsoe's lap. That was not a good job.
And the first interception in his last 84 pass attempts. And here they go again. Third possession today for the Steelers in Buffalo territory, 24. And Deuce Staley brought down by Taquio's spikes, Randy, as he tumbles ahead for 5 to the 19.
You know, Pittsburgh's not far from Buffalo. We're talking about 3.5, 4 hours drive. And this stadium and several parts of it are predominantly Pittsburgh Steeler fans. But it's full of Pittsburgh fans. If Pittsburgh was a college team and they had bowl games in the pros, let's say, you'd want Pittsburgh, because Pittsburgh fans, I think, travel better than anybody else's in the league.
Second down long, 5. It is just inside the 20, officially at the 19. Kreider gets the handoff, and a quick one it is. Schobel brings him down from behind as he slithers, and if Kreider can do that, to the 13-yard line, and he's got a first down. They move the chains. Kreider picks up 6.
Well, this Steeler team this year in minicamp decided they were going back to Steeler football. Not only the hard-nosed, opportunistic defense, but running the ball. That's always been the trademark of these teams. That's always been a trademark of a Bill Cowher team. Mission accomplished for the Steelers. They have really turned into a top-notch running team again.
So after Kreider's second carry of the season at the 13, 1st and 10 outside Hines Ward. Good catch. Nailed by McGee at the 7-yard line, and that is a pickup of 6.
You know, and one of the things that makes this team so dangerous, especially offensively, Kevin, is you look at what they can do on the outside. And when Tommy Maddox was hurt in week 2, I made a point in that game that this team would really thrive. Now, as Hines Ward's over 1,000, but this team would really thrive if everybody helped the young quarterback. And I think that's exactly what happened. The receivers put their numbers in the back and said, we'll help Ben Roethlisberger because Tommy Maddox is out.
It's a tight end. Randall L is the only wide receiver. 2nd down and 4. And they bulldoze up the middle. And Deuce Staley was hit by a host of them, including the linebacker Stamer. It's a gain of about 2-3 yards. We'll have to see where they spot it. Looks like it's just inside the 5. We'll call it 2 yards. They got to get to the 3 for a 1st down, so it's 3rd down coming up. And about 2. A Larry Foote interception off of Bledsoe sets up this great field position for the Steelers. The back nose of the football touching the 5.
The defense has to bow up again for Buffalo. They're the ones in this fight that need the win.
3rd and 2 for Maddox. Handoff Staley. Great block in there by Faneca. And an easy 1st down for Staley as he lunges to the 2, picking up 3, 1st and goal, Pittsburgh.
And I talked about the Buffalo offensive line a while ago. You look at those 5 guys up front for Pittsburgh. No one's done a better job of a turnaround in that running game, that offensive line in front. Alan Faneca just doing a great job. Hastings up front as a center has had Hardings, has been as good as anybody in the league this year. It's an incredible job, a nice turnaround, and their offensive line coach, Russ Grimm, should be proud.
Cushing is the 2nd tight end. 1st and goal at the 2. Kreider on the move. Staley gets the call.
Flag. Motion.
Flag is down. They blow that dead in mid-motion.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Max Starks. So Pittsburgh gets a touchdown run and pass reception by Randall L. They lead it 10-7. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Buffalo is fumbled. Bledsoe's been picked off. 2 Buffalo turnovers. Pittsburgh on top and looking to go in again.
And that right there is the Buffalo Bills formula that right now Pittsburgh's beating the Bills with.
Timeout taken by the Buffalo Bills, so they burn their 1st timeout as we begin the 2nd quarter in Buffalo. The Bills need a win to stay alive in the playoff race. Here's the first play of the 2nd quarter. It's 1st and goal at the 7 for the Steelers, who the last time this deep in Buffalo territory had to set up for 3. Haynes is in the backfield. Maddox has got a couple of tight ends, including Cushing, and there's Pat Williams bringing down Veron Haynes. A loss of 4. Randy, they're back to about the 12.
And Pat Williams comes over the nose, working against Jeff Hardings, and just powers his way right through the center into the backfield. Now that's just pure power. Hardings is a very physical center, and Pat Williams, half of that 700 pounds of fun I talked about in the open between he and Sam Adams, just made that a no contest.
2nd goal at the 11. Murray, Mays, and Randall L, the receivers. Haynes in the backfield. 2 extra defensive backs for the Buffalo Bills. Here comes the blitz by Spikes. The handoff goes to Haynes, who is brought down by Fletcher as he creeps inside the 5, near the 4, and picks up 7 yards. 3rd and goal.
And we talked to Veron Hayes yesterday. I said, Haynes, and I said, when was the last time you had 20, 25 carries or more? And he kind of looked up and went, I think that might have been the Music City Bowl.
3rd and goal at the 4. Haynes remains. Murray remains a wide receiver for Maddox. And lofting it in the end zone and incomplete, and looking for Mays, who is covered by Terrence McGee of the Buffalo Bills. For a 2nd time today, Buffalo keeps Pittsburgh out of the end zone and keeps them to a 3-point try.
And McGee, anticipating the jump ball, does a nice job body position-wise. The ball goes right through the hands of Mays, though. I mean, right through. But, hey, Jerry Gray's defense, for the second time in goal-to-goal situations, makes Pittsburgh come away with a field goal or a field goal attempt.
22-yard try by Jeff Reed. He nailed a 22-yarder earlier in the game.
Like, if you can kick in Pittsburgh, you can kick anywhere. The heck with conditions.
That's right. Gardocki putting down the ball on the Schneck snap.
You like this Schneck guy, don't you?
I'm going to get him in as often as I can today. He's from the University of Wisconsin.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, one taste and you get it. Levitra, ask your doctor about it today. Levitra, when it counts. And by America Online. Want a better internet? You belong at America Online.
Though we wanted to, Randy and I did not go to the Falls yesterday to celebrate the new year. We wish you and yours a happy new year. 13-7, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Hey, this is the formula for a happy new year for the Buffalo Bills. You see at the bottom, must win and get help. They've got to win this one and hope that the Jets or Denver come away with a loss. Then the most likely destination for next week for the Bills in that scenario is at Indianapolis.
Here's Reed's kickoff. He just nailed a 22-yard field goal, his second of the day. And McGee 3 yards deep in the end zone and brought down at the 15-yard line, hit by Morey and Kiesel and Stuvance. 17-yard return to New York in our studios in Great Gumbel.
All right, Kevin, the Minnesota Vikings looking for an NFC playoff berth. Get a 23-yard field goal from Morton Anderson here, and the Redskins lead is down to 7-3. Under 10 minutes to play in the first half. Kevin and Randy.
They got to win to get into the Vikings.
This is a nightmare scenario for teams. I luckily was never in this situation where you had to go into the last game of the season hoping to win and then hoping somebody else loses.
16-yard line for Drew Bledsoe, who threw an interception the last time to Larry Foote. McGahee, and he is brought down. Chris Hope and Chris Hope were both in there making the stop. No gain on the play. To Greg Gumbel again in New York.
Kevin, New Orleans and Carolina are also playoff hopeful in the NFC, and this is Aaron Stecker going 7 yards for a touchdown. The Saints have grabbed a 7-3 lead on the Panthers early in the second quarter, guys.
Have the implications there, too, in the playoffs, Randy.
I'll tell you, John Fox and his football team, do not count them out. They have come back numerous times this year in holes that one can't imagine. 1-7 and still contending.
Second down and 10, McGahee again. And hit and brought down nicely in the play by Ferrier. The MVP is voted by his teammates earlier this week. A loss of a yard, back to about the 15.
Then he would argue that Ferrier might be the defensive MVP in this league.
Good point.
You take a look at the NFC playoff picture. Still not quite resolved, you might say. Seattle's in. They just don't know if they're going to be hosting the game or traveling next week. And then you've got the others, all of which are hoping to finish at 8-8 and get themselves a playoff berth.
6 in the secondary. Oakley has come in along with Taylor. 3rd and 11. They got to get to the 27. Bledsoe and dropped incomplete. Moulds was covered on the play by Chad Scott. And he was a welcome sign for the Steelers. He had missed all these games since week 6 in Dallas, taking the place of Deshae Townsend on the right side today. He's normally a left cornerback.
He falls right on that right arm and shoulder and comes up holding that collarbone kind of area. I mean, that can be tough, especially on this artificial surface. It's got an initial give, but then it's not giving anything but concrete.
Second 3 and out for the Buffalo Bills on their 4 possessions today. And Ricardo Coakley brought down by Ryan Denny. 50-yard line, 13-yard return, 48-yard punt by Mormon. Timeout. Consecutive wins for the Pittsburgh Steelers, the longest in their great 72-year history. There's Bill Cowher, 13th year with Pittsburgh. 50-yard line, 1st and 10 after the 3-and-out by Buffalo. Haynes in the backfield, but the pass goes to Tooman, intercepted on the deflection, picked off by Takeo Spikes. He wants a block, and he gets it from Williams. Gets by Ross, then brought down by Lee Mays. A game full of turnovers, a 17-yard return, and Takeo Spikes with another interception. He's now got 5. That is the most by a Buffalo linebacker since Darryl Talley in '91.
And again, the Buffalo defense saves the offense's backside. That is now 28 turnovers in now almost 6.5 football games. Nice job by Clements coming in and knocking that ball away so it can't be caught. And then traffic cop linebacker Takeo Spikes trying to direct his return. Does a nice job bringing that thing back and getting Drew Bledsoe some nice territory, some nice possession on the Pittsburgh side of the field.
Reed is the 3rd wide receiver from the Pittsburgh 46. It's 1st and 10. Whoops. They're all moving in there. It's Kershke who came through the line. Now, was he induced?
Part of the snap, neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 90, entered the neutral zone, causing a reaction by the offense. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
The ex-49er Travis Kershke.
And the reaction was Jonas Jennings, the big left tackle, defending himself if Kershke came across the ball.
So down to the 41-yard line. 2 turnovers by Pittsburgh, 2 turnovers by Buffalo. Willis McGahee went outside, and Hope jumps on him, brings him down. Flag is down at the 38. The game was good for a
Holding
1st down.
offense, number 88, 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
And that is the tight end. As we take you to New York and Craig Gumbel.
All right, Kevin, both the Jets and the Rams have an eye on a postseason berth. Mark Bulger finds Isaac Bruce 27 yards and a touchdown. The Rams have grabbed the lead on the Jets. It's 7-3. 2nd quarter, guys.
Thank you, Greg. And look at the success the AFC has had this season over the NFC.
They own them. They really do, especially the winning teams. And we've got offsetting penalties. Well, they have 2 actually against Buffalo. Got a holding and a clip. Hey, no, look, this is the 40th drive that Buffalo had this season, Kevin, starting in opponent's territory for the 40th time this season. The next closest team only had 28. Once again, on the last play, that was holding called by a referee and then clipping on the backside called by the back judge.
They're still trying to figure out what the line of scrimmage should be. And there's Bill Cowher offering his help, which he is wont to do. Talked to Bill last night. He's welcomed home his freshman daughter from Princeton, where she has had a very nice start to her college basketball career. Of course, his wife Kay was a great basketball player down at North Carolina State. 1st and 20, back to the 44. Sean Williams has come in as a running back, and now he's been deployed. There are 5 receivers, including the tight end. They got to get to the 36-yard line of the Pittsburgh Steelers for a 1st down.
But the good news is it's only 1st down.
Yeah, that's right. They got a lot of ways to get there. Bledsoe, he's hit. Hope has him. There's the pass. Almost picked off on the play by Chris Hope. And again, we got Hoke and Hope. And with Hope, there is hope, and it's an incompletion, 2nd down and 20.
And you know you're doing some stuff up front when you're getting pressure out of the defensive tackle / nose tackle position. And Hope does a nice job of just coming up the inside, and it's a persistence job. He just keeps after Bledsoe.
2nd down and 20, same alignment, extra defensive backs in there. 6 numbering now for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Trey Teague with the snap to Bledsoe. And he guns a pass. That's dropped. Coverage by Stevens on Reed at the 50. Incomplete. 3rd and 20 coming up.
And this is against basically most of the backups for the Steelers defensively. You're seeing a lot of the starting unit for the Pittsburgh defense is not on the field right now. And Bledsoe starting out now 1 of 6 with an interception, and a possible other one that should have been picked out. And there's one of the guys. You got Ferrier and Kimo van Ohoffen and Polamalu, and you got the better part of the starters on the resting side for Pittsburgh, and Buffalo still isn't moving the ball.
Alonzo Jackson's out there. Kiesel's out there. 3rd and 20 from the 44, and Bledsoe throws to Evans, incomplete, almost uncatchable. The coverage by Chad Scott. And so after the interception by Takeo Spikes at the 50, Bledsoe and the Bills can do nothing with it, and some boos beginning to cascade down from the upper deck.
Remember what we said, Kevin, keep Buffalo behind the sticks if you're Pittsburgh. That's what they did. They got some help out of Buffalo with those penalties, getting them behind the sticks, but a lot of 3rd and 10 pluses for Drew Bledsoe in this offense, and that's perfect for the Pittsburgh defense.
So 3rd 3 and out for the Buffalo Bills, and 5 offensive possessions. They've also had 2 turnovers, a fumble and a pick by Foot off of Bledsoe. And here's Mormon with his punt. High and hanging, and Coakley waving for a fair catch, landing and kicking out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. Make it the 18 on a 38-yard punt. A lot of talk on that sideline.
Jim McNally doing all the talking.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by UPS. What can Brown do for you? And by Audi. In technology, performance, and design, our goal remains constant. It's greater to lead than follow. Audi, never follow.
Steelers 14-1 for the first time in their history. There is Keith Reese, who is from Pittsburgh, and his mom is watching. Blessing from some recent surgery. Wish her the best. Big Steeler fan. A lot of them in this stadium today, including Keith. And thank you for a great job this season, Keith. From the 38, 1st and 10. Here's Haynes, and brought down by Fletcher. It's a gain of a yard. 2nd down and 9 coming up. Fletcher is a great tackler. So is Greg Gumbel, who's in New York in our studio.
Kevin, one way for the Jets to reach the postseason is to beat St. Louis. Chad Pennington from 8 yards out to Chris Baker, and he will vault into the end zone. It's a 10-7 Jets lead coming up on 4 minutes to play in the first half. Kevin and Randy.
Jets began the season 5-0. They've gone 5-5 since. 2nd down and 9 from the 19. After the Buffalo 3 and out. Maddox, who threw an interception the last time, incomplete. Lee Mays covered by Terrence McGee.
See a little more sense of urgency from the Buffalo defensive side of the ball, Kevin, now that they're not backed up against their red zone / goal line area. They can be a little bit more aggressive. They can attack a little and take some chances. It's Jerry Gray, their defensive coordinator. If you had to say what epitomizes this entire defense and who do they point towards for leadership, that's Jerry Gray, their coordinator. This defense is all about that one guy.
10-12, 2nd quarter. 3rd down and 9. They got to get to the 28. Haynes in the backfield with Maddox. Tommy Maddox throws. Great catch made by Antoine Randall L. He's got the 1st down. He was working on Jabari Greer. It is a 10-yard pickup on 3rd and 9.
What kind of a great value is this game for Tommy Maddox and the Pittsburgh Steelers? Out 13 weeks after that terrible elbow injury. Give him a chance to get some reps, really settle into a rhythm, get used to a game atmosphere heading into the playoffs. It's perfect. Ben Roethlisberger with the rib injury, he'll be out just this game, and we'll be back for the playoffs.
Cushing is a tight end. Kreider with his 2nd carry of the day for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's a gain of 5. He slides up to the 35-yard line, brought down by Schobel. Well, Steeler quarterback Ben Roethlisberger was injured in the 3rd quarter last week on a hit by the Ravens linebacker Terrell Suggs, and Roethlisberger returned the following series, then took himself out of the game after feeling soreness in his ribs.
But that's why you love having a Tommy Maddox, especially a Tommy Maddox that has handled this situation so well, of a young guy coming in and basically winning his job.
Haynes in the backfield and the call. 2nd down and 5. Busting free. Veron Haynes grabbed by Troy Vincent. He's got a 1st down, grinding his way to the 46, a pickup of 11.
But you only need to really know the size of Veron Haynes to know what kind of back he is. He's 5'9", he weighs 225 pounds, and you can spend a lot of time talking about his speed, but you spend more time talking about his power and that lower body leg drive. Look at those legs just keep on churning. That's the mark of a Haynes type of a run.
The starting offensive line is in there for the Steelers. 1st and 10 from the 46, and Maddox incomplete. Jeremy Tooman, who caught a touchdown pass last week, can't hold on. 2nd down and 10. Folks, a reminder to log on to NFL.com. Read memories from former players and teammates of the late Reggie White. Hear what they have to say on NFL.com or NFL on AOL. With Randy Cross, Kevin Harlan, capacity filled Ralph Wilson Stadium, Buffalo. 2nd down and 10.
You mentioned everybody in that starting line still in for Buffalo. They need to keep him in with Tommy Maddox at quarterback.
Mays a receiver. Haynes in the backfield. Great fake, and there's a pass to Haynes. Looked like he wasn't even expecting the pass. It's incomplete. Here is Tommy, a one-time McDonald's high school basketball All-America. Was the former UCLA Bruin quarterback. Now, he was injured, and we did that game in Baltimore week 2.
That's right. Gary Baxter came from the backside on Tommy Maddox, number 28. Grabs that right hand and blew out a couple muscles in his arm, but didn't tear a tendon. That's why he was able to come back so quickly. Now here on 3rd down, Kevin, Randall L. so far already has 3 third down receptions.
Willie Parker is in the backfield with Haynes. Murray is a wide receiver. They've got to get inside the Buffalo 45, and here comes Maddox throwing, and it's caught. Antoine Randall L., the 1st down, shoved out of play by the Pro Bowler Vincent. Now some words after the play. Lawyer Malloy and Randall L. A 24-yard pickup, a Pittsburgh Steeler 1st down to the 31.
And for the 4th time early in this game, Randall L. is the receiver on a big 3rd down catch. All because Tommy Maddox got the protection from that starting line that's still in the game that you mentioned, Kevin, and runs a nice timing route with a quarterback he hasn't really worked with in a game in 13 weeks.
Drive began on the 18. Randall L. catches of 10 and 24 yards on this drive. It's Haynes. And a tackle made by Fletcher, in the loss of maybe a yard on the play, and it is back to the 32-yard line. Halfway through this 2nd quarter. Tomorrow on CBS is all new. It begins with Still Standing, and listen up, then don't miss Everybody Loves Raymond and 2.5 Men, followed by an unforgettable new episode of CSI Miami, plus The Late Show with David Letterman and the premiere of The Late Late Show with Craig Erickson. All new right here on CBS tomorrow. 2nd down, 11, 10th play of the drive. Maddox, Antoine Randall L. spins off Clemens, brought down by Posey. He tumbles his way to the 25, and he picks up 6 yards. This has been a drive authored by Antoine Randall L.
And this is a move that's been authored by Michael Vick. For a long time, people wouldn't make that spinning move. That's like a basketball move. But Mike Vick started doing that when he came in the league a couple of years ago, and now suddenly it's okay to pirouette. And pirouette's not a word you hear in football real often.
Yeah, but you used it well.
Look at Plexico Burris. He's a happy camper. I'm not playing, and I'm getting better. Look, he said, air tackle.
3rd and 5. Cheering from the sideline, Plexico Burris from the 25, handoff to Haynes, and goes head over heels on a hit by Clemens. He's got the 1st down. He works his way to the 18, picking up 8 yards.
I just love the attitude of this Pittsburgh Steelers football team in general, especially up front. I mean, I'm not saying anything against Verron Haynes. He's off to a nice start, but Pittsburgh is throwing the ball effectively, but they're getting good protection, and Bill Cowher's offensive line right now is taking over the inside of the Buffalo defense.
Cushing is the tight end. Buffalo is going with their starting defense, as you might imagine, in a game with such heavy playoff implications. 1st and 10. Haynes, Kreider with the block, a spin move, and Schobel is there to wrap his arms around the legs of Verron Haynes. The gain is to the 17-yard line. It's a pickup of a yard coming this Thursday to CBS. A new competition unlike anything you've seen. 12 of the most creative people in America face off in a battle that makes the action on the gridiron look downright friendly. Wickedly Perfect. It premieres Thursday at 8, 7 Central on America's most watched network, CBS.
And on this drive, Tommy Maddox, Kevin, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 5, they've converted.
Here's 2nd down and 9. And the handoff goes to rookie free agent Willie Parker. And he picks up 4. Spikes and Clemens in there on the tackle. We also had Sam Adams in there with the stop. Look at Willie Parker.
Yeah, talk about converting those 3rd downs. That goes back to the play of your quarterback. Tommy Maddox. And today on third down, Maddox has really been the difference. Look at that, 5 of 6 for 5 first downs. Pittsburgh on first down in general they've made 7 of 10.
Greer is the extra defensive back. Third down and 5. Tooman is in as one of 5 receivers. Now Haynes comes in the backfield with Maddox. They got to get to the 8. And Maddox throws, and that is out of bounds and complete. In the vicinity was Sean Moray, but the ball was just really thrown away in terms of preserving possession, and so it's fourth down. And again, Buffalo limits Pittsburgh to a 3-point try.
But we were in a game last week, Kevin, where you almost couldn't afford to kick a field goal.
What game was that?
That Indianapolis-San Diego game.
San Diego, Indy, yes.
You couldn't afford to kick a field goal.
Yes.
In this game, field goals are good. The way Pittsburgh's defense is playing for Bill Cowher, you get Jeff Reed to get in here and kick a field goal, it's great points for your defense, because right now, defensively, his football team is controlling the Bills.
31-yard try. And they get it. And 16-7 Pittsburgh on that drive, which began at the 18. Antoine Randall L. was terrific. A 10-yard catch, a 24-yard grab, and the field goal the result. A drive that began at the 18-yard line culminates in a 31-yard field goal. Antoine Randall L. with a great job of receiving. Ron Haynes, too, had a couple nice runs of 8 and 11 yards, and Maddox engineers another score. 16-7, the AFC's best Pittsburgh Steelers.
The key here, though, is that the Buffalo passing game right now is a net 2 yards in the first half. Bledsoe still 1 of 6. 1 of 7.
Reed with his kickoff, and McGee inside the 15 slants his way, then brought down on the play by Clint Krewalt, former Detroit Lion. 18-yard return. The next till halftime awaits. Greg, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, scores, highlights, news, a look at the playoffs. It's all coming up next on the Nextel halftime report. Bills take over at the 28.
That should be quarterback no comparison so far, because between Maddox and Bledsoe, Tommy Maddox clearly the top hand on that match.
Last 2 possessions, 3 and out for the Bills, and McGahee stacked up by Harrison, brought down on the play. Also a tackle by Kendrick Clancy, gain of 3 to the 31. Boy, since McGahee has been a part of the starting lineup, they've played well. The Bills have at home.
And he got himself an extra touchdown today, rushing, and he's been the fuel. He and that offensive line that really gelled over the second half of this season have really been what fueled Bledsoe's offense, because they got the running game. That bought Bledsoe a lot more protection, which he hasn't had a lot of today.
31-yard line, second down and 7. Bledsoe, here they come again at him, and the pass is caught by the tight end Neufeld. He's to the 37, and he's tackled on the play by Larry Foote, who has an interception off Bledsoe today. It's a gain of 6 yards.
Yeah, I wanted to make a quick note, too, of something I saw earlier, Kevin. Leslie Visser did a great piece on Brandon Stokely. We saw Stokely catch that touchdown for the record last week, that 49th touchdown from Manning. She did a wonderful job on that feature on Stokely's young son. That was fun.
3rd and 1. Ryan Denny has come in now as an extra blocker. He's like a tight end on that Buffalo line. Hand off to McGahee, and not much of a block, but certainly a nice play by Willie Williams, who comes up from the Steelers secondary and cracks him. A gain on the play of nothing. 4th and 2, and what do?
You're going to probably just have to punt it, because your starting offense for Buffalo can't get a yard against Pittsburgh's backups. Pittsburgh's defense right now is pretty much not even peppered with backups. It's predominantly backups.
Yes,
they did a wonderful job of breaking through, especially Willie Williams, who has started on and off, but good run support. That's a Buffalo corner. I mean, that's a Pittsburgh corner supporting the run. 3
straight 3 and outs for the Buffalo Bills in a game which means everything for their playoff hopes. Mormon with the punt, and Ricardo Coakley watches it sail out of bounds as they mark it up to the 20-yard line. 44-yard punt. Folks, kick off the new year with the Late Show. Dave is all new on Monday with Academy Award winner Hilary Swank. and music from Green Day. And don't miss the premiere of The Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson. That's tomorrow night on CBS. Well, this says it all for Buffalo. They got to win, and you got to get some help if they want to get in the playoffs.
Letterman's got Green Day, and the Buffalo Bills need a payday. But in order to get that, they got to win.
20-yard line for Maddox. Roethlisberger did not start. He is suited up as the third quarterback. And the handoff outside goes to Willie Parker. A loss of 2 on the play. Nice play by Clemens on the defense for the Buffalo Bills. Loss of 2 back to the 18. Which takes us to the 2-minute warning in a game full of turnovers. The Steelers still on top. After our first half here, we take you to New York for the Next Till Halftime report. Craig, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, scores and highlights. The Next Till Halftime next from our studios in New York.
Sam Adams getting a little help from Tim Krumreyer's defensive line coach, saying, hey, like the game's on the defense, so you got to look good, man. Let's pull that shirt down and get back out there. And this game's on the defense. The offense isn't doing anything. They need turnovers.
2-minute warning. First half. 2 timeouts apiece. 18-yard line. They got to get to the 30. Here's Parker running outside, wheeling his way with nothing to gain. In fact, he is down. The hit was made by Schobel. In fact, a loss of a yard back to the 17-yard line.
So here's the deal. 1 minute and 55 seconds. You've got 1 timeout left for Buffalo, 2 timeouts left for Steelers. Buffalo going for field position.
Bills have a timeout left. Pittsburgh's got 2 timeouts left. 3rd and 13. They got to get to the 30-yard line. Maddox has Parker and Haynes at his side. 5 in the secondary for the Bills. Maddox, Parker. Nice play by Schobel. Gain of 5. He's out to the 22, and Pittsburgh's going to have to punt. And this will only be their 2nd punt in 7 possessions.
So that's the 3rd timeout now for Buffalo. So they have no timeouts left. They're getting the ball. Remember, they're kicking into the wind, Pittsburgh will be. So Buffalo knows they're going to get excellent field position, and Mike Mularkey trades out a timeout for that field position.
2 scores down to the Buffalo Bills.
A little success would be nice before you worry about the scores for Buffalo. You know, Drew Bledsoe in this offense, to be nice, they've sputtered.
It could be worse. Pittsburgh could be up ahead far more than they are right now.
You know, absolutely.
Red zone issues.
Because Bill Cowher has made them play the Buffalo game, but Buffalo's defense has saved Mike Mularkey and his football team. 4 penetrations for the Steelers into the red zone. They come away with only 3 field goals.
Good point. So Nate Clemens is back inside the 35, awaiting the Chris Gardocki punt. He's never had one blocked in his career. Over 1,000, and I think it was 1,044. And this is not going to be any different. The bounds it goes, keeping it away from Clemens, who has a punt return for a touchdown this season. 41-yard punt. Coming Sunday, January 23rd to CBS. Get ready for a whole new kind of crime solving. 2 brothers, one's an FBI agent, the other's a math genius. Secret weapon for cracking cases. Numbers premieres Sunday, January 23rd on America's most watched network, CBS.
What, does the co-star work as a stat guy during the NFL season?
Yeah, we've got him over here.
That's right.
Right next to me, Pat McGrath. That's a good point.
Well, it's a simple situation for Drew Bledsoe and this Bills offense. And simple formula on that board right there. Colts, Bills, and St. Louis. That's who you're rooting for if you're a Buffalo fan. You want the Colts to win, or you want St. Louis to win. And that puts your team in if Buffalo wins their game.
Jackson, Kursky, and Kiesel on the defensive line for Pittsburgh. 1st and 10, 37-yard line for Bledsoe. Burns in the backfield with Drew. Pass outside is caught. Sam Aiken makes the grab. He is touched on the play defensively by Ike Taylor, gain of 6.
And no timeouts left. Bledsoe trying to get his first down in the second half since 6:14 left in the first quarter.
44-yard line, 2nd down and 4 for Bledsoe, and bullets a pass, caught again by Aiken, grabbed and brought down by Chris Hope, has a 1st down. He's to the Pittsburgh Steeler 43.
It's going to be a quick little spike of the ball. No timeouts. Got to get this clock stopped. Plenty of time.
And Bledsoe, as Randy clairvoyantly tells you, throws it down. 2nd down now and 10.
Well, it's easier to be clairvoyant when every coach on the sideline is spiking the ball.
I'm trying to make you look good, okay?
But Ryan Lindell's got a long of 54. That means, you know, the ball's got to basically be snapped from about the 35-yard line or so, 36-yard line. So there's where they may basically, you know, about the 30-yard line or so is the red line you see on your screen. That's about where they need to get the ball to.
Second down 10 from the 44. Bledsoe molds, breaks a Taylor tackle, a Coakley tackle, and he's shoved out of bounds. Close to a first down at the 34, gain of 9. 57 seconds remaining. Buffalo out of timeouts.
Now, in the last possession, we saw the Pittsburgh backup defenders tackling and hitting like starters. On this possession, the Pittsburgh backup defenders have tackled like backup defenders. And that's been the difference. That's why the receivers have gotten the extra yards, is they're breaking tackles. 3rd and 1. Burns in the backfield, and Bledsoe bends it, almost picked off, almost intercepted by Chad Scott. He's got an interception this season earlier on. We talk about Tommy Maddox being a great story. How about Chad Scott? Another guy, big contract, highly thought of, has some injuries. He's been sitting and watching a guy do his job, getting a chance to get some game time experience here, and very important. Replacing Deshae Townsend, and Scott is normally a left cornerback. Now he's playing on the right side today. And Bledsoe going for it here on 4th down. 53 seconds, no timeouts. McGahee back in. Denny is in as a blocker, the defensive lineman. Here's McGahee. He does carve out a first down. He's brought down by Krewalt, gain of 2. Now get right back on the line again, Kevin. Spike the ball. Don't 32-yard line. Don't worry about the defenders. You just get over the ball. Trey Teague, 70 center. Get over there and snap it. No Buffalo timeouts. There's the strike to the turf. It's 2nd down and 10. And still plenty of time. That red line at just inside the 30-yard line, about the 29-yard line you saw just a little while ago. That's sort of the bogey. You know, it's right now you're talking about a career long for Lindell. So you need at least another first down, but with 34 seconds, you're not thinking field goal still right here. You're still thinking about getting the ball down the field and maybe getting out of here with a touchdown. 2nd down 10, Pittsburgh 32. Bledsoe is platoon 4 receivers. Pocket crumbles, gets it off to Burns. Acrobatic catch and brought down by Krewalt. Nice play, limited gain of 2. Flag is down at the 20-yard line, near side of the field. It's going to be against Pittsburgh.
Illegal contact, defense, number 27, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
5 yards puts you inside that bogey range for Lindell, but still leaves you plenty of time if you're Mike Mularkey with 25 seconds to be thinking into the end zone and getting a touchdown here and not settling for 3.
Bledsoe 5 of 14. He has thrown an interception today.
But remember, Kevin, with no timeouts, don't get sacked.
Right.
A sack puts you out of field goal range.
First down, 27-yard line. Bledsoe, Burns with the block, and a nice catch made by Molds. He stepped in front of Stuvance and brought down by Jackson, 20-yard line.
Second down. That means you can spike it.
Gain of 7 on the play. And he spikes it there. It was 2nd down and 3. Now it is 3rd down and 3 with 13 seconds left in the first half. And Buffalo down by 2 scores.
So now you're thinking strategy.
Right.
Now you're throwing it outside. If it's first down, great. But otherwise, you've got to get out of bounds without timeouts because you can't get your field goal on the field fast enough.
6 defensive backs for Bill Cowher's defense. 3rd down and 3. And Bledsoe going to the end zone and incomplete, looking for Sam Aiken and covered by Chad Scott, his first game back since a quadriceps tendon tear in week 6 in Dallas.
And like you said, Deshae Townsend goes out with the broken bones in his hands, and Chad Scott's getting some playing time, just as valuable as Tommy Maddox is. They're going to the playoffs. They need all the experience they can. And you talk about the percentages of Lindell from this close. If you're an NFL kicker, you're in the 30-yard range, it ought to be 100% if you're going to keep your job.
Lindell has made 20 of his last 21. It is a 37-yard field goal try, and he got it. That's an important 3 points for the Buffalo Bills.
For momentum?
Yes.
The offense moved the ball. They played like the starting offense going against the backup Steelers defense. And, you know, Bill Cowher's football team is is having fun. They're having a blast, and they're making things miserable for Buffalo.
So Bledsoe on that drive, which began back at the 37-yard line of the Buffalo Bills. Variety of pass completions and ending in a 37-yard field goal by Ryan Lindell, who's been constant all season. Very automatic, very, very good all year. Here's why today is so important. Let's go back to week 1. The Bills lose to Jacksonville when the Jaguar quarterback Byron Leftwich hit Ernest Wilford for a touchdown as time expired. We knew at that time what major playoff implications that a 13-10 defeat would have all the way in week 17.
And for Mike Mularkey, they got some help from the same Jacksonville football team last week when they did the no-show and got shut out by Houston 21-0. That eliminated them from the picture, eliminated them from the problem.
Coakley is deep back, and Lindell has the ball teed up at the 30-yard line.
Mularkey going to the chapstick. Things can get a little dry on the old lips at this time of the year.
That's exactly right. Especially here.
If it was 85 and sunny, lips would still be getting dry.
That's right.
In week 17 when you got to win. Your team's getting pretty well handled by this Pittsburgh team so far.
Ike Taylor has joined Coakley deep, and this is on the ground, and this is picked up by Hurst, who runs it up to the 43-yard line and is tackled on the play by Rashad Baker. So some turnovers, 2 by each team. A touchdown pass, Maddox to Randall L. Field goals of 22, 22, and 31 yards by Reed. Buffalo, an interception by Bledsoe, a fumble earlier in the game on a punt return. And McGahee with the touchdown run. And a field goal moments ago. Tommy Maddox starts for the first time since week 2. Big game, heavy playoff implications for the Bills. That's our halftime.